G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this NBA 2K25 Play Now series, where I just talk about whatever's on my mind, mostly about the team I'm going to be using in the video. And as you can probably tell from either the title or the thumbnail, in this one I'm going to be using the Memphis Grizzlies. You'll see who we'll be taking on here shortly, because I didn't decide I was going to use Memphis before the game. It was just after who my opponent decided to choose. I thought Memphis would be a good matchup and a pretty even team. As you see there, we're going up against a guy who apparently hasn't played, and he's going to go with the Warriors, and I thought I might go with one of their, I guess you can call them rivals. They're not really rivals, but I think they could be in the future, and that's going to be the Memphis Grizzlies, obviously going back to when Golden State knocked them out of the playoffs a year or two ago, and then the year before Memphis beat them in a playing game. And basically, I'm just going to be talking about my thoughts on Memphis. As you see, I've moved Zach Edey into the starting lineup. It'll be interesting to see if he starts for them this season or if he'll be coming off the bench, because I can see a world in where he is not a token starter, but, plays 20 minutes a game but starts. Or if they'll run Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5 again. You see, they'll actually give it to him for the first shot, but he unfortunately misses. But Jaren Jackson Jr. goes back up with it and scores to put us on the board. Yeah, my thoughts with Memphis is I've actually gone basically all in on them in my predictions, and maybe a little bit of money on them as well, because I think they are primed for a big bounce back year. I like the core. I guess you can't really call them a big three yet, but all their best players are in the prime of their careers. They're all still young, which is, I feel like, really undervalued in today's NBA, especially in the regular season. The young teams tend to hold up better and have better records. As you see that we hit a big three there with Desmond Bane, but with Ja hopefully coming back and not doing anything silly this time, he should be able to play a good amount of games. Obviously, everything's going to be on health as well. As you see Steph there, this guy just wanted to run up and shoot with Steph, it seems like every time, as you'll see in the vid. But Ja Morant, hopefully he can stay healthy and stay out of trouble. And then Desmond Bane at the 2, and then Jaren Jackson Jr. as their 3 best players. And I did like the addition of Marcus Smart. It'll be interesting to see if he also comes off the bench or if he starts, because if they run Ja, Smart, and Bane, that's a pretty small 1 to 3. But then they do have the bigs behind them in Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey. The parts where I do see them falling off a bit is their bench. I don't really think they have a great bench unit. I mean, GG Jackson was very good for them last season, but I believe he got injured in the off-season, so he's going to be out for quite a while, I believe. I believe it was something serious. And then the likes of, I think, Zaire Williams hasn't really progressed to where they want. But they did manage to sign that guy, Luke Kennard, back. Unfortunately, misses the 3 there. I get it to him again. He shouldn't miss twice in a row, but of course he does. But yeah, Luke Kennard back on I think just a 1-year deal, which was a good get for them, because I think that's what they need. They just need some good outside shooting. And then they got Santi Aldama as well, who's a bit of a wild card. He's still young and can shoot it from range. The Spanish man. But yeah, the bench isn't as great as it used to be, I feel like. But I think they can overcome that, especially with all their players healthy. And let's not forget, they went out to, who was it? The Lakers, I think, in the playoffs a couple of years ago. And they really could have won that series very easily as well, because I believe they were down 2-1. And then it went down to the wire in game 4, and they were a bit unlucky, where that would have got them home court again and probably would have gone 7. And in the regular season, they're very good at home, so we'll see if that continues next season, because last season was just a write-off. I mean, Ja was suspended for the first, 25 games, comes back, it's a game winner or 2 in his first game back, I think it was, and then he gets injured again and he's out for the year, and that really sunk their hopes of doing anything. And they basically just tanked the rest of the way. I mean, I feel like Desmond Bane wasn't playing. Jackson Jr. wasn't playing much either. And it really just went from bad to worse. And they were just basically trying to get a good of a draft because they can. But those are my thoughts. You see Brandon Clark as well. It'll be interesting to see if he plays much this season and if he'll get back to form, because he was a real good player for them when he was healthy. Could almost be a 6-man of the year contender when he's at his best. But just, again, injury trouble has just been stifling them. As you see here, we're up 14-7 on the Warriors. Should be able to get the win, because I don't think this guy's that great. I mean, I did say it's his first game on Play Now Online, so he might be a complete casual. But let me know what your thoughts down below in the comments. Where do you have Memphis? Because I can honestly see them. I mean, I'm picking them to have a big year, so I'm going to say top 4 in the West in the regular season. I mean, I could see them honestly coming anywhere from like 2nd to, I mean, they could have another shocker with health again. Anywhere from 2nd to 13th. I mean, the West is absolutely stacked. I mean, for me, I think it's OKC and then everyone else, because unfortunately, I feel like my Nuggets are going to take a step down. Lakers, everyone talks about the Lakers, but I think they're just around the same again. They'll probably be a lower seed, but then they can beat anyone in the playoffs because, you know, it's LeBron and AD. If they're on all cylinders firing, they're going to be a tough out. But yeah, who else is there? I mean, there's the Kings, who'll be interesting. The Warriors, obviously, a lot of new additions for them with Klay Thompson going out, but they've brought in likes of, you know, Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield. Who else? I know I'm forgetting someone. And then there's also, you know, the Clippers. I've got no idea about them. I mean, there's just good teams all around. Minnesota's going to be up there again, you'd think. But yeah, it's just going to be absolutely stacked in the West. But yeah, I'm putting my money on Memphis, to be honest, and I have put some money on Memphis. So hopefully they don't make me look like a fool, but that's going to be my prediction. I mean, I think Desmond Bane, people have really underrated him, and he could come back and just have a huge impact. Not to mention Ja Morant. I mean, people were expecting him to take another step forward, and basically it seems like Ant's overtaken him, because it seemed like Ant was on the same trajectory as Ja, where he goes from a star to a superstar. But now that Ja's been out for basically a year or two, people have seemed to forgot about him and forget how good this Memphis team was when they were all clicking on all cylinders. But yeah, it's just going to come down to health, as it does always in the NBA, and then just team chemistry and who's playing well at the right time. Because as you see, it's not always the top seeds that make the finals. I mean, who was it? It was Dallas and Boston, and Boston just ran away with that series. I mean, they were the best team all season with that team. They are just unstoppable and probably going to win back-to-back, but never say never. I mean, one injury can change everything. But yeah, Dallas, what were they? They were seeded like 4th, I think, and they made it all the way to the finals. And then just the year before, it was Denver v Miami, and Miami was an 8 seed. So seeding isn't the be-all and end-all, but I think for Memphis, it's going to be important. So as long as they finish in that top 4 and make sure they have home court advantage for that first round, I can see them making a deep run in the postseason, especially with the likes of Marcus Smart, who's been there before, and then they've also been to the playoffs with like Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr., who's primed to win a Defensive Player of the Year award as well if he steps up and can just stay out of foul trouble. I remember that was always the major concern for them. Yeah, that's my thought on Memphis, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, as I'm going to just be talking about 2K25 now, where there's been plenty of issues, as I'm sure you're all aware. I mean, the latest outrage has been about the shooting. What do you guys think? I mean, it's hard for me to say because I feel like I just lag all the time. I've got bad latency, but I feel like shooting is pretty tough this season. But at the same time, if they tune it a bit and everyone goes shooting 70% from 3, that's not going to be fun either. But yeah, let me know what you think they should do. I don't think they're going to touch shooting that much yet, but I'm just really not a fan of the rhythm shooting. But I haven't really tested it out or tried it because I'm just a square shooter. I mean, I rarely ever use the right analog stick for shooting. I use it for dribbling, obviously, but shooting, I've just always been a square button merchant, and I'm a bit of an old head, so I just like to keep it simple and just use the square button. I mean, I don't even use the dunk meter either, which I probably should, especially with this team with just flying down the lane with Ja. That'd be quite fun and handy if I actually put in the work and try to learn that as well, because I want to get into my team eventually, but it just seems like a total money grab, so maybe I'll just stick to Play Now Online. And if you guys enjoy, I'm happy to keep uploading these videos, just try to work my way around the league, hopefully try to use every team eventually, but it's going to be hard because you can match up with tier 1 teams, and I don't really want to use a tier 3 team like Washington and then go up against someone who's using Boston, you know, so I tend to just try to match up against my opponent. But I will try to use as many teams as possible because I do want to try to move up the ranks a little bit and eventually make it as high as I can. But I'm not playing that often, but when I do, I'll try to upload for you guys and just talk about different topics. And if you want me to talk about a certain topic, put it down below in the comments. Really helps me out, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on everything, and we can look back at these near the end of the season. I might do some more predictions just throughout the whole league, and maybe player awards, stuff like that, because that'll be interesting to look back on. And I feel like I called the finals right a couple years ago on this channel, actually. I think it was, where it was Boston v Golden State, and I had it exactly correct. I think I said Golden State in 6 and they won in 6. And then last year, I don't think I put it out there, but I had Boston beating Dallas easily. And I would have said 4-1 as well, because Dallas just weren't a good matchup. I feel like they're too heliocentric. Obviously, they just give the ball to Luka, and that's about it. Which, I mean, Luka is one of, if not the best players in the league, but I just prefer Boston's hierarchy. And I guess that is because they have the better players and the better team. But I like it when everyone, gets to touch the ball and show what they can do, whereas Luka and Lively run pick and roll and everyone else just stands in corners and watches. It's just not as fun and not really my type of basketball. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. You see there, it says we're 3-0, but we're actually 2-0. You see there, I don't know, I think the guy quit out in the matchmaking lobby. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. And let me know what team I should try to use in my next video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.